RaceKraft simulations for round 2 of the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT1 Championship. We head to Silverstone 2001 for this round of the GT1 series. My name's Chris Mitchell, I'll be your host for this evening as we are getting into 5 minutes completed in qualifying so far, with Ray Oliver going to the top of the board. He just gets knocked off by Jonah Sita. We follow along at the moment with Daniel showing up under the replays. Now, if you're watching online and figuring out who is V-Race, V-Race 3 is Barry from the centre himself. V-Race 6 is John Fisher from V-Race, and V-Race 1 is Cameron Edwards. Formerly used to be racing here with us at RaceKraft Simulations, currently 4th in qualifying so far. We're going to jump on board with him and join for a lap. We don't want that on board, we want the inside on board. Join you for a lap of Silverstone 2001 as he brings it into the teardrop and around and onto the main straight. 2 back outside as Cameron Edwards goes down the hanger straight on the way towards Stowe. Getting the speed right up. He's currently 4th fastest. Jonah Sita in 1st. Ray Oliver in 2nd with a 140.7 so far. Anthony Julesy Jewel in 3rd right now, 141.16. We jump on board with Julesy for a little while. 21 minutes 45 in the session. Julesy's exiting the pit lane, so we're going to follow him for an outlap as he comes out with the Mercedes. He's going to join right in front of a Porsche as he goes straight off the track at Maggots and Beckett's. Oh, through the grass and tags a passing car coming on through. Julesy lost it as he rejoins to try and get underway with his fast laps again. We'll grab Josh Cochran. He's parked up in the pit lane at the moment. Just having a bit of work done. Ray Mangano driving the D2 COK. Love this Mercedes from the era. The fantastic series of cars we had through the heyday of GT1 racing. As the class is known inside the Automobilista 2 platform. Currently Ray Mangano making his way through Brooklands. He's going to be down through the gears along the long right-hander out of Blufffield and into Woodcote. Before he starts to hammer down the front straight, flick off his lap. He's on a 143.997 so far. Making a run towards Cops. He improves a 143.242 and he's sideways through Cops. Can he gather it up? He's on and off the brake trying to gather it up, and he will jump in the pit lane exit. I see some activity coming from John Lee. He's just had a massive lose in the Okada McLaren GTR, arguably one of the hard cars to drive of this class. It's a bloody handful. Had a chance to grab some laps in it under Tom Hamlet's account, who was due to join us tonight for round 2 of the SRT Trackmasters Academy. And yeah, could not drive the McLaren to save my life. So we'll leave that one parked up in the pit lane and let Johnny try and handle it around the circuit here as he comes through the left-handers. Around that long right-hander on left field. Making a run to Woodcote and onto the main straight. A cool benefit of the McLaren is you are centrally seated. It's a great seating position in the car, and it actually feels kind of awkward when you get in it. Very similar to some of the Group C days, the old Rothmans Porsche and the likes. Here's Johnny making a run towards Maggots and Beckett's. Under the bridge, on the brakes, gets it gathered up nicely, and Maggots trying to keep it tucked in nice and tight. And Beckett's a great sweeping and panning camera shot there, grabbing a bit of inside curb as he's riding the bumps on the way out of Beckett's and Chapman onto the hanger straight here, with the Porsche GT1 behind him, chasing him down that beautiful and the iconic Mobil 1 livery on the Porsche. Just sets the car off. This hard left-hander, hard on the brakes. You can see the front of the car dipping down on the brakes there. Johnny currently on a 158.2. The only driver that's outside of 150, inside 2 minutes at the moment. Andrew Skinner in the pit lane is yet to set a time, unfortunately, for Andy. Very talented radio control car racer here in Western Australia is Andy Skinner. Good to see him joining the ranks here at RaceKraft Simulations and having some fun. Of course, if you want to get yourself involved in our league nights, don't hesitate to get in touch with John Lee at RaceKraft Simulations and get your name booked in for a seat, or if you'd like to join us from home, you can jump in onto the session after chatting with John to get the session password, of course. Come in and join us for our regular league nights every Monday night across 4 different classes: GT3, GT1, BMW E30s, and we are also racing the Formula 1 spec class in Automobilista 2. 2 of the 4 rounds are live broadcast with yours truly, bringing you all the action from RaceKraft Simulation. If you do have a rig at home and you'd like to join in the action, get in touch and come have some fun with us. It's a great group of people. Great to have some healthy rivalry between another setup here, V-Race, joining us as well. And it's good to have everyone joining the session. As we approach the halfway point here, Alex Zani is out of the sim after setting the fast time of the session. He says, that's enough, I'm done. Can't get any quicker than a 139.6. So Alec is going to sit this one out. We're going to jump on over with Jonah Sita in the Porsche. Following on the McLaren, so he's causing a little bit of damage up the front of the Porsche GT1 here as he comes through Maggots and Beckett. So a big lose for Jonah. Jonah finding himself in the RK3 static simulator tonight for this round of the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT1 Championship. Jonah usually joining us from one of the motion simulators in-house when he likes to come have some fun. And a very quick driver in his own right is young Jonah. Give him an opportunity to get back up to speed and see if he can rejoin us here. Go through the order. V-Race 1. Currently sitting in 5th on time. Grab on to V-Race 1 there. Cameron Edwards making his way around the circuit. Grab a track map for you and let you enjoy the sights and sounds of Edwards. Oh no, he loses it! Just as we put him up on screen to show you a lap of Silverstone 2001 here. Cameron Edwards loses it all the way through Abbey and onto the farm straight, so we'll let him reset. And we'll jump on over. We'll grabs Sasha. Oh, that's going to be a hard one to pick. Sasha running the matching livery to Cam Edwards, the 00 Porsche 911 GT1. He comes down the main straight into Cops. On the brakes at the 50-metre board, gets it tucked into the corner nicely. A little bit wide on the exit as there's a Mercedes off there in the sand trap as well. And Sasha is going to pull it over and park up in the grass, so we'll jump off and follow him. I do stand corrected, that was actually Ray Oliver. Somehow missing that one. This is Sasha in the McLaren. Shaka Wakeman McLaren entry with the 03. Currently 12th fastest on the board here. Second half of qualifying here from Silverstone in 2001 for round 2 of the SRT Track Masters Academy GT1 Championship. We'll pick them up in the last few minutes and we'll get stuck into it. GT1 cars from RaceKraft Simulations. Less than 5 minutes to go in qualifying here at Silverstone 2001. The SRT Trackmasters Academy GT1 Championship round number 2. We've been following along for a moment with Ray Oliver currently 3rd in qualifying, as Alexani is the fastest man on track, sporting a bit of damage on the Porsche as well. Jonas Sita has been pushing super hard and has got within a 1/10 of a second of Alec right at the end of the session. A 1:39.502 for Jonah, who is out of the seat. He says, that's enough. I cannot go any quicker. And he's just going to let the car coast on into the fence line. Pick up with Julesy in the Mercedes, ruining his choice of vehicle. He believes he could be a bit quicker in the Porsche here. I'd say bad drivers blame their cars. As Julesy 4th in qualifying at 1:40.8, 4 minutes to go. V-Race 1 of Cameron Edwards in the Porsche is coming down long straight. As he comes down through Vale and on the way into Club. The yellow shown on the hanger straight. Someone's pulled off the track and they're being cleared out by the race directors. Currently Cameron sitting 5th in time at the 1:41.5, a little bit further off the pace than what we'd expect to see from Cam. And I'm sure we'll see him climb up the order a little bit further come race time. He's a great racer when it comes to these longer distances. He certainly keeps a good head about him that helps him along the way. Ray Mangano in the pit lane. Josh Cochran still circulating out there with 3 minutes and 10 to go in the Mercedes. He's in 9th for the 1:43.5. Sasha is out there with the McLaren with the 1:44.04. John Lee has parked himself up on the couch with Stitch to have a break before they go racing. V-Race 3 entry of Barry out there with the Porsche 911, just a little bit wide off the road on the way into Brooklands. Pulls it back across the racetrack and down into Luffield. That long right-hander seems to go on forever before you're so tempted to jump on the throttle and either understeer or oversteer your way off into the kidney litter. Jonas Sita off the track. Alexani in pit lane. Ray Oliver still circulating, trying to get a little bit closer. He's 7/10 of a second off the time at the moment with the Porsche 911 GT1. Down the line, trying to squeeze every last bit out of the car. He comes across and does not improve the time. Still 7/10 of a second outside here. This is how they sit so far, but we'll keep an eye on Ray, as he might have an opportunity to close the gap here with 1 minute and 45 to go in qualifying from Silverstone 2001. Seconds to go here in qualifying from Silverstone. Ray Oliver has been unable to improve his standings. He comes down Woodcote once again. The last-ditch attempt to shorten the gap. He goes faster, but not enough to move up the order. He's a 1:39.967, just being one of 3 drivers to dip underneath the 140s. With 10 seconds to go, he starts one final lap, and he might have an opportunity to have a tilt at it here through Maggots and Beckett's. A little bit loose, and he's having a big lose Oliver off the track, and that cancels him out from the remainder of the session. Julesy is having it off as well. Where is Julesy going? He's doing some lawn mowing with the Mercedes. Bad all what's good for, according to him, the way this car drives. Cameron Edwards in 5th through qualifying with a 141.5. That's a big gap from the race lead. 2 seconds. Alexani on pole to Cameron Edwards in P5 on the grid. Brody there in P6. Jordan Diablo in P7. Ray Nagano P8. Sasha in 9. Josh Cochran in 10. John Lee in 11. B-Race 3 of Barry in 12, Jay Caitlin in 13, and B-Race 6 of John Fisher in the 14th spot, not recording a time here in qualifying. So it looks like we're left with just a 13-car field. We'll let everyone reset back to the pit lane and we'll join you for the racing action. Half an hour at Silverstone for the SRT Track Masters Academy GT1 round number 2 coming at you very soon. Cars set on the starting grid as we get ready to go racing for half an hour here in Silverstone for the second round of the SRT Track Masters Academy GT1 Championship from RaceKraft Simulations. Alexani on the right of screen there in the Porsche 911 starting on pole. From Jonas Eater on second, Ray Oliver on third, Anthony Jewell, the first of the Mercedes, back there in fourth on the grid. From Cameron Edwards in P5. The car's getting set. We are going to be set to go for half an hour here from Silverstone in 2001 layout. And we are green at Silverstone. A great start there from Jonas Eater. gets away from second on the grid. Alexani getting caught napping at the start, and Jonah is going to sneak through for the race lead at Cops for the first time. The run towards Maggots and Beckett's on lap number 1. It's a trio of Porsches chasing each other into Maggots. Cedar leads the way from Zani in second, Ray Oliver in third, Anthony Jewell in the 4th spot. The first of the Mercedes is to go into Beckett's very gingerly on the brakes as he's already trying to build himself a bit of a buffer here. 2 Porsches behind us, Zani and Oliver down hanger straight having to go at it. The Mercedes of Anthony Jewell from Cam Edwards in the Porsche further behind. A big look here from Ray Oliver up the inside of Alexani. Zani squeezes him down to the apex and hangs it out to dry as they come into Vale. Zani's going to hang on, but Ray's going to look up the inside once again here as they head into Club. Zani again does it the hard way to hang on to the 2nd spot, but he's checking up the corner speed here, and he's going to get eaten up through Club. They're going to slow each other down, and Anthony Jewell is going to be right there to pounce on them if they're not careful. Out of Club and on the run up the hill towards Abbey, Oliver having another look up the inside, but Zani slams the door firmly in Oliver's face as they're coming through Bridge for the first time here, lap 1. Being written into the books for the 2nd round of the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT1 Championship from RaceKraft Simulations. It looked like a pretty clean start from further back in the field. And they've already caught up with Jonah Cedar, who got away pretty quickly. Very smart off the line there for Jonah as they chase him around the right-hander at Woodcote and onto the main straightaway to finish lap number 1 in half an hour of racing. And it looks like we are set for a 16, maybe 17 lap race here at Silverstone 2001 as we follow along with Ray Oliver. Looks like the battle is happening a little bit further up the field though. Alexani going to try and put some pressure on Jonah here as they come into Maggots and Beckett's. Trying to put the squeeze on him here further behind. Anthony Jewell staying in touch, but can't quite get close enough at the moment. We're going to watch from Jules's perspective here, back there in 4th. We'll go inside the Mercedes and join on as he heads off the end of the hangar straight into Stowe, letting the Mercedes really breathe and sing us the song of its people. And Vale hard on the brakes into the left-hander. Arriving on the scene at Club. Oh no, carnage further ahead. Jonah Cedar getting caught up. Your race leader, Ray Oliver, was in there as well. Julesy goes to 2nd. Alexani will take over the race lead. We'll go back on board with Julesy and jump outside the car. What a turn of events there, and that puts Jonah Cedar all the way down here in 7th, right in the thick of it. A big lose from Jonah there, and we've got another Mercedes off the track there, and Jonah fires into the back of that one, getting caught up. Now Jonah getting hassled by the McLaren of Sasha as they come through Bridge. So Jonah with a lot of work to do here from 6th on track now as he's defending from Sasha. Under brakes into Abbey. It's Alexander, your leader. Anthony Jewell in 2nd. Ray Oliver survived that somehow in 3rd. Cameron Edwards driving a bit of a smart race of his own. He's a little bit further behind, just off the screen in the matching colour scheme Porsche 911 GT1 of Oliver on screen. Behind them, Brody Cullen in the 5 spot. Sasha in the 6, John Lee in the 7. Oh, we got a Porsche off the road there, and that was Cameron Edwards off the road at Cops. Big lose there from Cameron in the V-Race 1 car, and he's still trying to rejoin on track, and he's going to go all the way down to 8th, 9th, maybe even 10th behind Ray Mangano. Big lose there from Cameron Edwards as we follow along with Jake Caitlin at the moment in the 7th spot on track, coming through Maggots and Beckett's. Selena McLaren, number 12 entry, down the hangar straight. Hard on the brakes, and it looked like he was going to fire up the inside of Johnny Lee. Rocking out right here in the RaceKraft Centre. Joining us from the RaceKraft 10 unit, we just copped an upgrade to the pedal box today. A new set of the Velasquez Engineering Tilton pedals as Caitlin and John Lee both off the track there. And they're going to have to rejoin. They're going to go down the order a little bit. We'll pick back up with your close battles on track and try and find one here. Here's Cameron Edwards trying to put some pressure on the V-Race 3 entry. Barry Punter next in line for Cameron Edwards, trying to put some pressure on him. tenths of a second between them as Edwards tries to claw his way back through the field after a big off at Cops. Just a couple of laps into this one. We are 24 minutes and 45 seconds to go. We've passed the first 5 minutes of racing, and Edwards shows a nose up the inside of Barry as they head through Woodkit and on the main straight. Run down towards Cops, and Barry's going to let him go under brakes, I'm sure, and squeeze that one. Cameron Edwards will move up another spot and set his sights forward on another one of the V-Race entries, this time John Fisher further up the road. John currently showing in 6th place on my timing screen. Out front, Alexani. A shocking start, but he recovered nicely here. 3.09 seconds the lead he has over Anthony Jewell in second. Ray Oliver another 4 seconds further back in third. Brody Cullen in P4. Sasha Gruen in the 5 spot. He's another 7 seconds off the back of Brody Cullen. We have a long way yet to go. Jonah Sita, we lost out unfortunately earlier in the race, and he has dropped a long way further back now. He's all the way down in 11th for Jonah from second on the grid. Jonah got a great start and was looking fantastic in the very early stages, but is having an absolute shocker as he has another lose into the left-hander here and gets caught up once again as he brings the Porsche, I believe, out of club up the hill towards Abbey, just behind John Lee on track here. He's going to have a little bit of a battle with Johnny. We'll stay with this one for the moment as they come through Abbey. Kink on the farm straight. They go under bridge and into the right-hander up towards Priory. Left-hander, and Jonah is going to sneak all the way around the outside and pick off Johnny Lee. Great move there from Jonah, trying to claw his way back through the field. Johnny Lee was left a bit stunned watching that one all happen in front of him. Battles on track already petering out here. Here's Josh Cochran in the Schneider Sports Mercedes, trying to put some pressure on the Selena McLaren of Jake Caitlin as they come up in towards Maggots and Beckett's and squeezes across. Cochran getting the job done. He goes to P7 on track. He's trying to gather up the momentum of the Mercedes under brakes is a task in its own as they come out of Beckett's and Chapel. They're going to go side by side through Chapel as they come down the hanger straight. Still dragging it out on the way towards Stowe. Jack is going to slot back in behind, and then he decides, no, I'm not going to draft him here. I'm going to pull back out and show him a nose. Under brakes into Stowe. Caitlin really moving and swapping positions. As they both have an off and lose it at the left-hander at Abbey. Cochran went wide. Caitlin spun it on the inside. Sorry, that's at Vale and Club. And they both lost out big time from that one. V-Race 1. Ahead of them, Cameron Edwards up to the 6th spot on a recovery drive here. As a look at your timing shows Alexani breaking away from the field with 21 minutes to go. We'll grab a lap with your race later. We'll go on board and listen to the sweet sounds of the Porsche 911 GT1. just making his way out of Stowe. And on the, actually out of club and on the run up to Abbey. Ray Oliver a bit more further behind there. In the third spot, Oliver coming into Abbey now. Brodie Cullen right behind him, trying to put some pressure on here. Trying to keep up with Ray at the moment and hang in there and see if he can pick up a top 5 result, maybe even sneak a podium as we're making a run to the halfway point here. 18.5 minutes to go. Sasha rounds out your top 5. V-Race 1, Cameron Edwards in the 6th spot. Josh Cochran in 7, Jake Caitlin in 8. Barry Punter in the 9th spot. Jonah back there in P10. Now moving up a spot, he goes to P9 on your order. Jump on board with Jonah Sita here, having a bit of a battle. As we follow along V-Race 3, Jonah Sita just ahead now as they go around a spun car. I believe that was Jake Caitlin in the McLaren spun out there as he gets the McLaren up and running on the way out of the club. Jonah back up to the 8th spot now as we grab him through bridge. On the way towards Priory and Brooklands. Hard on the brakes and left-hander gassing up a little bit more. Squeeze the car into the tighter left-hander. Jonah trying to close the gap onto the back of Josh Cochran now to claw back another position on track. Here he's in 8th and closing at the moment, almost a minute behind your race leader over Alexani, who's built himself a 6.5 second lead over Anthony Jewell here. Ray Oliver in the 3rd spot. He's 9 seconds further back at the moment. Brodie Cullen right with him. He's 7/8 of a second on the back as we look at our timing. Sasha, another 13.5, 14 seconds further behind, rounding out your top 5. As Jonah goes side by side with Josh Cochran, Adam Chappell and onto the hanger straight. And they're going to choose opposing sides of the racetrack just to keep everything nice and safe. Cochran going for a big lunge up the inside though on Jonah. And they're going to switch spots again. Jonah Sita finding himself under a bit of challenge to try and claw his way back up through the field as they go hard onto the brakes into the left-hander at Vale. Square things up again for the long right-hander at Club. This is where Jonah's very fast in the Porsche. Trying to put a bit of pressure on Josh Cochran as they head up the hill towards Abbey. Cochran runs himself wide at Abbey. Jonah Sita will squeak on past through bridge and up towards Priory. Great battle there between them as Jonah back up to the 7th spot now. We are 15 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Anthony Jewell losing time. He is 7 seconds off the race lead now as Alexani continues to drop in the hot laps at 1:41.2 for Alec last time across. Anthony Jewell at 1:41.6 as we pick up with Anthony as he makes his run out of Stowe towards Vale, under brakes into the left-hander. Grabs a little bit of grass on the way into Club, squares the Mercedes up and gets onto the loud pedal. Left to go. We're into the second half of racing. We're in the feature race for round 2 of the SRT Track Masters Academy GT1 Championship from Silverstone 2001 here at RaceKraft Simulations. We're currently following along with Anthony Jewell as he tries to hustle along and see if he can close the gap to this man, Alexani, who is just untouchable at the moment. Out in front, cool, calm and collected with the Porsche 911 GT1. number 25 IBM and Mobile 1 entry on the way out of Stowe and into Vale. Just see some action coming from John Lee, who's just had a big off in the Arcada McLaren. He's trying to rejoin on track at the farm straight here and get back on track. He's let go in position. He's down to P11. Zani is out front by 7.5 seconds. Ray Oliver sitting in third, been unable to close the 13-second gap that he has from Anthony Jewell. He's managed to build himself a bit more of a buffer of the Brody Cullen, who just had it off a moment ago. Brody currently in fourth with a 32.43. Cameron Edwards a little bit further behind. Both of them have a bit of action lately here as they were switched around in the order. Now back to 4 and 5. Edwards is about 5.5 seconds off the back of Brody Cullen. Sasha further behind there in P6. Jerez taking the 7th spot, slowly closing the gap. He is 20 seconds off the back of Sasha though. With 12 minutes and 45 left to go. Here at Silverstone 2000, looking view of this spread around the track. About 5.14 kilometres available to us for the Silverstone circuit in the area of Northamptonshire and Buckinghamshire in England, the United Kingdom, the famous track here that held the 2001 British Formula 1 Grand Prix. The current track layout, or that we're seeing right now at least, was used between 2000 and 2002 before it was upgraded. Gone through several other iterations before it has reached the final version, which we see in the modern era in the year that is 2020 and 2021. At Silverstone, we follow Oliver hard on the brakes down into Stowe, keeping the Porsche nice and square as he makes a run towards Vale and Club. The racing not very close in this one with 11 minutes and 20 to go. Alexani is your leader. This is your current standings here. Zani in first. He's holding 9.7 seconds over Anthony Jewell in second. A bit further back for Ray Oliver in third. Brody Cullen in fourth. Cameron Edwards in P5 from Sasha, Jonah, Josh, Jake. Big race 3 of Barry Punter, John Lee, Jordan Diable and John Fisher, your running order. As we'll switch off the timings. We'll jump on board. Give a bit of love here to Brody Cullen. Currently fourth on track at the moment in the D2 Mercedes COK GTR. As he comes out of Cops on the run towards Maggots and Beckett's. He's holding 10 seconds behind Ray Oliver at the moment. And 5 seconds clear of Cameron Edwards as he goes into Maggots and Beckett's. 10 minutes and 30 left on the clock. It's a smidgen over 8 minutes left to go here. Silverstone 2001, Anthony Jewell leading the way on screen at the moment. Sorry, he's in second. 10.5 seconds off the back of Alexani as they come down the main straight away towards Cox. You can see from the track map on the right-hand side as Jewell comes out of Cox. Alexani is already on his way through Maggots and Beckett's. That is what 11.9 seconds on screen looks like in the track map here of Silverstone. 2000 to 2002 circuit layout available through Automobilista 2. I believe it's part of the DLC expansion pack, but if you're nice enough to go jump on over and find the various deals available, me personally, I jumped onto Steam and bought myself a season pass and got all the DLC content included, so I had the ability to jump on and run any of the tracks as part of Automobilista 2 program, and I can jump on and get all of the new cars and updates as they come out via the Steam portal. 12 seconds now is the gap as Alexani is just relentlessly throwing down the laps here. We'll jump on board with Alec inside the final 7 minutes. At this point, all he's got to do is cruise on around. He can almost leave it in top gear and roll around the circuit, the 5.1 kilometers available here at Silverstone for the second round of the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT1 Championship through the AMS2 platform. Stunning is this racing simulator, and the driving physics are very, very good. So much fun driving cars and getting to absolutely rag very bleeding edge of performance on the various tracks we get to drive through the AMS2 season. Next round we come back next Monday and jump in some Formula 1 action. Be sure to join us at RaceKraft Simulations. Get in touch with John Lee if you'd like to jump in the seat, or if you've got a rig at home and you'd like to join from home, have a chat to John and see if you can join in. The more the merrier, we say. We can fill these fields up and get on and have a great old time. Every Monday night here at RaceKraft Simulations, you don't have to be in centre. You can jump on from home and join in the action as well. You're just going to have a PC, the platform and a rig. Where you go, you can come racing with us. 5.5 minutes left to go. We've given some love to Alexani and Anthony Jewell. We'll go back 20 seconds further to Ray Oliver in the golden Porsche 911 GT1 as he comes out of Maggots and Beckett's through Chapel and onto the Hangar Straight. Coming up on the back of the McLaren of John Lee to put him a lap down. It's a head under brakes into Stowe. Great camera packages available through the Automobilista 2 platform. Absolutely stunning watching these cars get around as Oliver brings the Porsche all the way around the long right-hand club up the hill towards Abbey. You can see John Lee, you can hear John Lee, you can see him on screen here. Centre steer in the McLaren at the moment. John currently 10th on the road. As Oliver closes the gap with that lap on him. He's 21.1 seconds off the back of Anthony Jewell. There's a 5.9 second lead over Brody Cullen. Back here in fourth with Cameron Edwards rounding out your top five. We'll jump on further back to Brody here. Show him some love in these final few moments for up in the D2 Mercedes CLK GTR. Beautiful piece of machinery this is. Going down in the history books along with the Porsche and the McLaren are some of the greatest racing vehicles and most beautiful cars ever to be made in the world for all time. Absolutely beautiful piece of kit as he goes down the main straight towards Cox on the brakes just prior to the 50-metre board. Feeding the Mercedes to the track here. He holds on to 5 seconds over Cameron Edwards with 3 minutes and 45 left to go. Cameron rocking around here, coming up behind a little bit of lap traffic as he comes through Maggots and Beckett's. 5 seconds off the back of Brody Cullen on tracker as he comes out of Beckett's through Chapel onto the Hangar Straight. The car that he was lapping, the Porsche 911 GT1, just having it off at Maggots and Beckett's. You can see them rejoining at the back of screen there. Sasha further back in P6 here. We'll go further back to Sasha with 3 minutes and 15 to go. Rocking the beautiful Shaka red and black 03 McLaren. youngsters of today as one of the most phenomenal production cars ever made. It's fantastic to see. There's still servicing programs available worldwide. In all of the US, there is one mechanic certifying McLaren F1s, and it's a full engine out reconditioning every 5,000 kilometers, I think. A great article if you want to go and read it on Track Magazine. You can find it online about the only McLaren F1 mechanic in all of the Americas, and he still uses an ancient, like 1990s compact computer to be able to do the programming as well. He still has the original equipment to do the job on these phenomenal cars. Of course, this is the LM version, I think. Maybe the GTR and a GT1 trim. Brody brings a car onto the Woodcut straight. As you go further back to Jonas Sita, he had a fantastic start from the front row of the grid, leading the way from second in the opening minutes of the race. He drops all the way back through the field, has been trying to make his way back through, but to no avail as he's had another couple of issues throughout this half an hour here. At Silverstone 2001, Jonah finds himself 7th on track, closing the gap to Sasha. Move further back to Jake Catlin in the 8th spot. Josh Cochran in P9. From John Lee in P10 in the McLaren. V-Race 3 of Barry Punter in the number 25. Mobil 1 of IBM Porsche GT1. Jordan Diabo in P12. And V-Race 6 of John Fisher. Rounding out your 13 cars on field, we're going to go all the way back up the order to Alexani. Just putting a lap here on Josh Cochran as he brings it out of comps one more time. 1 minute and 5 to go for the second round of the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT1 Championship. Zani through Beckett's and Beckett's. Inside the final minute down the hangar straight. And on his way to absolute domination of the race. He didn't get the lead early on, had a shocking start off the line, just bogged the car down on the release of the clutch pedal, but since then has been in fine form for Alec as he leads the way currently on his way through club with 25 seconds left on the clock. 13 seconds clear of Anthony Jules, 25 seconds clear of Ray Oliver back there in the 3rd spot. Zani makes his way up through Bridge, up towards Prairie and at Brooklands. The British Racing Drivers Club tower stands high and mighty here in the Silverstone circuit to Luffield. And down the line, Alex Zani, absolutely dominant here. Down the main straight. And clearing out, Jonas Sita has already wrapped things up, but Alex Zani makes a run to the line and takes a win here for round 2 of the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT1 Championship. Zani with a win here at Silverstone. Anthony Jewell is going to run through, and he's going to come down the line and just run the ball all the way to the finish. Julesy comes home for 2nd. Ray Oliver making his way into Brooklands for the final time here on the run towards Luffield. Long and slow right-hander that will be painstaking in the final corner of the race before he can open up the taps and bring it home here in the Porsche 911 GT1. Ray Oliver comes home for 3rd. Brody Cullen further behind down the line in the Mercedes comes home for P4, and Cameron Edwards out of Woodcote for the final time will round out your top 5. Sasha will come home as he brings it out of Woodcote for the final time here in the McLaren. The first of the McLarens in the field is Sasha in P6 from Jake Catlin in the 7th spot. Josh Cochran wraps things up in P8, John Lee in P9, V-Race 3 of Barry Punter in P10, Jordan Diabo in the 11th, and John Fisher rounding out your running order. That's a wrap for round 2 of the SRT Trackmasters Academy GT1 Championship. Man on screen right now, Alex Zani is your winner tonight here at RaceKraft Simulations. Thank you so much for joining us here at RaceKraft. My name is Chris Mitchell. It's been a pleasure to host you this evening. We're back next week for another round of the League Nights, and we are into the Formula 1 cars. Track to be determined. Of course, it doesn't get announced until the night we are racing. So make sure to join us. If you want to come racing with some Formula 1 action through Automobilista 2 next week, make sure you get in touch with John Lee here at RaceKraft Simulations, and we'll make sure to book you a seat and come and have some fun. That's all for tonight. Have a good evening. From RaceKraft Simulations, it's Chris Mitchell. Good night.